Gentlemen, let me ask you something direct. Have you been told that Viagra or Cialis are your only real options for reliable erections after 60? I'm here to tell you that advice may be keeping you dependent on pills for the rest of your life. Viagra has its place, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to restoring natural spontaneous erections, the kind you had in your 20s and 30s, the kind that happen without planning or popping a pill, Viagra is not the long-term answer. In fact, relying on it exclusively might actually prevent your body from healing the root cause of your erectile struggles. The truth is, there's one seed, just one ordinary seed you can eat daily, that directly feeds the exact biological pathways your body needs to produce nitric oxide, boost blood flow, and restore firm, spontaneous erections naturally. That's not hype, that's cardiovascular physiology, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this seed is, how much to take, when to take it, and why it can work even if you've struggled with weak erections for years or even decades. Now, I want you to have value right away, not at the end. So let me reveal this seed immediately. It's pumpkin seeds. Yes, those small, flat, greenish seeds you've probably seen at the grocery store or sprinkled on salads. But here's what almost no one tells you about pumpkin seeds and why they're so powerful for men over 60. Pumpkin seeds are absolutely loaded with zinc, magnesium, and L-arginine, three nutrients that work together like a symphony to restore erectile function. Zinc is the master mineral for testosterone production. Without adequate zinc, your body simply cannot manufacture testosterone efficiently, and low testosterone is one of the primary reasons men over 60 struggle with weak or absent erections. Magnesium relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation, which is critical because an erection is fundamentally a blood flow event. And L-arginine is the direct precursor to nitric oxide, the molecule that signals your blood vessels to dilate and allows blood to rush into the erectile tissue of your penis. When you eat pumpkin seeds daily, you're giving your body the raw materials it needs to produce spontaneous erections naturally, without drugs, without side effects, and without the frustration of planning intimacy around a pill. Before I continue, let me quickly explain why you should listen to me. My name is Dr. Emily Carter. I've spent over 25 years specializing in men's health, particularly sexual health and erectile function in men over 50. I may not be a man myself, but I've listened to thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond tell me about their frustrations, their embarrassment, and their desperation to feel like themselves again. I've studied the research, I've seen what works in clinical practice, and I've watched men transform their confidence and their relationships by making simple, targeted changes to their nutrition and lifestyle. This isn't theory. It's backed by decades of research and real-world results from real men who thought their intimate life was over. Now, let me explain exactly how pumpkin seeds work at a physiological level, because understanding the mechanism will help you believe in the solution. Think of your erectile function like a garden hose. For water to flow powerfully through that hose, you need three things: adequate water pressure, a hose that's flexible and not kinked, and a valve that opens fully. In your body, testosterone provides the pressure, healthy blood vessels provide the flexibility, and nitric oxide opens the valve. Pumpkin seeds address all three. The zinc in pumpkin seeds boosts testosterone production in your testes. Studies have shown that men with higher zinc levels have significantly higher testosterone, and men who are zinc deficient often see testosterone levels drop by 30 to 40%. The magnesium relaxes your blood vessels, preventing them from staying constricted and rigid, which is a common problem as we age due to inflammation and arterial stiffness. And the L-arginine converts directly into nitric oxide in your endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, signaling them to dilate and allow blood to flow freely into your penis. From a urological perspective, the penis contains delicate erectile tissue called the corpus cavernosum. When nitric oxide is released, this tissue fills with blood, creating firmness and rigidity. Without adequate nitric oxide, that process simply cannot happen efficiently, no matter how much desire you have. Let me share a story. A gentleman I'll call Robert came to me at 68. He told me he hadn't had a spontaneous erection in over 8 years. Not in the morning, not during the day, not even when he was intimate with his wife. He said every intimate moment required planning, required a pill, and even then, the results were inconsistent. His wife had stopped initiating intimacy because she felt like it was a chore for him, and that broke his heart. He had tried Viagra, he had tried Cialis, and while they helped sometimes, he hated feeling dependent on them. He wanted to feel like a man again, not a patient managing a condition. So we did something simple. I told him to eat a quarter cup of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds every single day, preferably in the morning with breakfast. I gave him a simple protocol. Chew them thoroughly, drink plenty of water, and be consistent for at least 6 weeks. Within 4 weeks, Robert came back to me with tears in his eyes. He said, "Dr. Carter, I woke up 3 mornings this week with an erection. I haven't felt that in nearly a decade." Not only were his morning erections returning, but he noticed increased firmness during intimacy, better stamina, and a renewed sense of confidence. His wife noticed the change too. She told him he seemed more energized, more present, more like the man she married. That's the kind of turnaround I see regularly when men address the nutritional deficiencies that are sabotaging their erectile function. Before we go further, if you're finding this information helpful, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. I release videos like this regularly with science-backed strategies specifically designed for men over 60. And make sure you comment below and let me know where you're watching from. I love hearing from viewers all around the world, and it helps me understand what topics matter most to you. Now, let's continue. Now, you may be wondering, why pumpkin seeds specifically? Can't I just take a zinc supplement or an L-arginine pill? That's a fair question. The truth is, whole food sources like pumpkin seeds provide nutrients in a form your body recognizes and absorbs far more efficiently than isolated supplements. Pumpkin seeds also contain healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants that support overall cardiovascular health, which is intimately connected to erectile function. Your erections are a barometer of your cardiovascular health. If your blood vessels are inflamed, stiff, or clogged, you'll struggle with erections long before you have a heart attack. That's why cardiologists often say that erectile dysfunction is the canary in the coal mine for heart disease. By eating pumpkin seeds daily, you're not just supporting your sexual health, you're protecting your heart, your brain, and your longevity. But here's where most men get it wrong. They eat pumpkin seeds once or twice and expect immediate results. That's not how nutrition works. Your body needs time to rebuild its nutrient stores, especially if you've been deficient for months or years. Most men start noticing subtle changes within 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe they wake up with a slight firmness they haven't felt in a while. Maybe they notice increased sensitivity during intimacy. By weeks 4 to 6, the changes become more pronounced. Morning erections return with regularity. Firmness during intimacy improves. Stamina increases. And by 8 to 12 weeks, many men report spontaneous erections during the day, the kind they thought were gone forever. This isn't magic. It's simply giving your body the tools it needs to function the way it was designed to. Now, I need to warn you about something important. There are 3 common mistakes men make with pumpkin seeds that can sabotage your results. If you're making these mistakes, you might be undoing the very benefits you're hoping for. The first mistake is buying roasted, salted pumpkin seeds. Roasting at high temperatures destroys much of the L-arginine and damages the healthy fats. The added salt can raise blood pressure, which is counterproductive for erectile function. Always buy raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds, preferably organic. The second mistake is not eating enough. A tablespoon here and there won't cut it. You need at least a quarter cup daily, which is roughly 1 ounce or about 28 grams, to get therapeutic levels of zinc, magnesium, and L-arginine. The third mistake is not being consistent. Eating pumpkin seeds once a week won't restore your erectile function. You need to eat them daily, every single day, for at least 6 to 8 weeks to see real, lasting results. Think of it like watering a plant. One watering session won't bring a dying plant back to life, but consistent, daily watering over weeks will revive it completely. Let me share another story. A gentleman I'll call William came to me at 73. He said he had given up on intimacy entirely. He told me, "Dr. Carter, I'm too old for this. My body just doesn't work that way anymore." His wife had passed away years earlier, and he had recently started dating again, but the fear of not being able to perform kept him from pursuing anything serious. He felt embarrassed, ashamed, and defeated. So we started with pumpkin seeds. I told him to eat a quarter cup every morning with his oatmeal. I also had him add a handful of walnuts for additional omega-3 fatty acids to support blood vessel health. Within 5 weeks, William called me, and I could hear the excitement in his voice. He said, "I didn't think it was possible, but I'm having erections again. Not just during intimacy, but in the morning, just like when I was younger." He went on to tell me that he felt a renewed sense of masculinity and confidence. He started pursuing a relationship with a woman he'd been interested in, and for the first time in years, he didn't feel like his body was holding him back. That's at 73. If William can do it, so can you. Now, let's talk about the science behind why this works so powerfully for men over 60. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at producing nitric oxide. This decline starts in our 40s and accelerates dramatically after 60. At the same time, chronic inflammation, arterial stiffness, and oxidative stress damage the endothelial cells that line our blood vessels, making it even harder for nitric oxide to do its job. Testosterone levels also decline by about 1 to 2% per year after age 30, and by the time you're 60 or 70, you may have half the testosterone you had in your prime. This combination of low nitric oxide, damaged blood vessels, and declining testosterone creates the perfect storm for erectile dysfunction. But here's the good news. These processes are not irreversible. By providing your body with the nutrients it needs, specifically zinc, magnesium, and L-arginine from pumpkin seeds, you can begin to reverse this decline. Research shows that L-arginine supplementation can improve erectile function in up to 80% of men with mild to moderate erectile dysfunction. Zinc supplementation has been shown to increase testosterone levels by 30 to 50% in deficient men within just 6 to 12 weeks. And magnesium improves endothelial function, reduces inflammation, and lowers blood pressure, all of which directly support erectile health. If you're still with me at this point, you're serious about your health, and I want to give you a complete protocol so you know exactly what to do. Here's the right way to put this into practice. I call this the pumpkin seed protocol. Step 1. Every morning with breakfast, eat a quarter cup of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. You can sprinkle them on oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, mix them into yogurt, or just eat them by the handful. Chew them thoroughly to maximize absorption. Step 2. Drink at least 8 to 10 glasses of water throughout the day. Hydration is critical for blood flow and nutrient transport. Step 3. Avoid processed foods, excessive sugar, and alcohol, all of which damage your blood vessels and suppress testosterone production. Step 4. Add moderate exercise, at least 30 minutes of walking or light resistance training daily. Exercise boosts nitric oxide production and improves circulation naturally. Step 5. Be consistent for at least 8 weeks. Mark it on your calendar. Track your progress. Notice the subtle changes in your body. Simple, precise, effective. If you do this consistently, you may notice subtle changes within 2 weeks. By weeks 4 to 6, most men start experiencing real physical changes, including morning erections, increased firmness, and better stamina. Now, here's something quotable you'll want to remember. Weak erections are not a sign of old age, they're a sign of poor strategy. Your age does not define your vitality. Your choices do. If you're not giving your body the nutrients it needs to produce nitric oxide and testosterone, you're fighting your body's natural ability to heal instead of harnessing it. Let me address a concern some of you may have. Can I just get this from food, or do I need supplements? It's a fair question. The truth is, it's extremely difficult for men over 60 to get therapeutic levels of zinc, magnesium, and L-arginine from a typical modern diet. Soil depletion, food processing, certain, and poor absorption as we age all contribute to widespread deficiencies. That's why I recommend pumpkin seeds specifically. They're a concentrated, whole food source that your body can absorb and utilize efficiently. However, if you prefer, you can also supplement with zinc picolinate, magnesium glycinate, and L-arginine powder. But I always recommend starting with whole foods first because they provide additional nutrients and cofactors that enhance absorption and effectiveness. Another common question: what if I'm already on medications? Is this safe? If you're on blood pressure medications, blood thinners, or medications for diabetes, you should absolutely talk to your doctor before making significant dietary changes. Pumpkin seeds are generally safe, but they can interact with certain medications, particularly blood thinners, because of their vitamin K content. Always consult with your healthcare provider to ensure this approach is safe for your specific situation. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. How long until I see results? I know you want a specific answer, and here it is. Most men start noticing subtle changes within 2 to 3 weeks. These might include increased sensitivity, slight firmness in the morning, or improved stamina during intimacy. By weeks 4 to 6, the changes become more pronounced. Morning erections return with regularity, firmness improves, and confidence increases. By 8 to 12 weeks, many men report spontaneous erections during the day and reliable performance during intimacy. But remember, everyone's body is different. Some men respond faster, others take longer. The key is consistency. Don't give up after 2 weeks. Give your body the time it needs to heal and rebuild. Let me share one final story. A gentleman I'll call Henry came to me at 81. Yes, 81 years old. He told me he hadn't had an erection in over 15 years. He said, "Dr. Carter, I know I'm old, but I still feel desire. I still want to be intimate with my wife. I just can't perform anymore, and it's breaking my heart." His wife was 76, and they had been married for over 50 years. She told me privately that she missed the intimacy, not just the physical act, but the closeness and connection it brought. So we started Henry on the pumpkin seed protocol. I also had him add Brazil nuts for selenium and walnuts for omega-3s. Within 8 weeks, Henry came back to me with the biggest smile I've ever seen. He said, "Dr. Carter, I didn't think it was possible at my age, but I'm having erections again. My wife and I are intimate again, and it's brought us closer than we've been in years." He went on to tell me that he felt like a new man, that he had energy he hadn't felt in decades, and that his confidence had returned. That's at 81. If Henry can do it, so can you, no matter your age. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning with a firm, spontaneous erection, the kind you haven't felt in years. Imagine being intimate with your partner without planning, without pills, without anxiety. Imagine feeling confident, masculine, and powerful again. That's the reality many of my patients are living now, and I want you to have the same. This isn't about turning back the clock completely. It's about reclaiming the vitality, the confidence, and the intimacy that you deserve at any age. So here's my invitation. If this message spoke to you, if you want real science-backed methods that are designed specifically for men over 60, then subscribe right now. Hit that button and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss what's coming next. And I want you to look forward because in my next video, I'm going to reveal 3 so-called heart-healthy foods that actually lower testosterone and sabotage your erections every single day. When you see that list, you'll understand why so many men stay stuck and how avoiding them can unleash your vitality even further. Now, let me make a challenge for you. Try the pumpkin seed protocol for just 8 weeks. Eat a quarter cup of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds every single day. Then come back to this video and comment below. Tell me if your morning erections have returned. Tell me if your firmness has improved. Tell me if your confidence has increased. I want to hear your results, and I guarantee other men will be encouraged when they read your story too. Comment below and let me know where you're watching from. Have you experienced weak erections or lost spontaneous erections? Let me know in the comments. If you've tried pumpkin seeds or any other natural approach, share your results below. What questions do you have? I read every comment. Let's recap one more time because repetition helps this stick. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with zinc, which boosts testosterone production. They contain magnesium, which relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. They provide L-arginine, which converts directly into nitric oxide, the molecule that signals your blood vessels to dilate and allows blood to flow into your penis. Eat a quarter cup of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds daily. Be consistent for at least 8 weeks. Stay hydrated, avoid processed foods and alcohol, and add moderate exercise. Put these together, and you've got a 5-part strategy that can help restore spontaneous, reliable erections naturally, without drugs, without side effects, and without dependence on pills. And here's something I want you to think about tonight. What if you didn't have to plan intimacy around a pill? What if you could wake up every morning with the firmness and vitality you had decades ago? What if you could feel confident, masculine, and powerful again, no matter your age? That future isn't far away. For many men, it's just a handful of pumpkin seeds away. I know how discouraging it feels to think you've lost this part of yourself. I've heard the embarrassment in men's voices when they tell me they can't perform. I've seen the frustration in their eyes when they describe the distance it's created in their relationships. But I've also seen the joy when they realize it's not over, when they rediscover the part of themselves they thought was gone forever. That joy is waiting for you too if you take the first step. Remember this: your age does not define your vitality. Your choices do. And tonight, with pumpkin seeds, you have the chance to make a choice that can transform your health, your confidence, and your manhood. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and I'll see you in the next video.